Hola, buenos días, soy Nico. And yes, I look refreshed and glowing, and I need a haircut because my hair is starting to curl up again. But that's not why you're here today. Today, we're actually here to talk about something that's fairly serious. But before we get into that, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive lives, weekly videos, be a part of the podcast. Nico, where the hell are you? I'm in LA. So basically, after a music festival with my friend Roxas, I had a connecting flight in LA, and he convinced me to stay a week. So, because it's been so long since I've been in LA that I decided, why not? I'm not necessarily going to be doing anything but sitting at home. That's not why you're here. I was just explaining my background, but let's get into it. Today, we're actually going to be discussing some serious accusations against a long-term performer, adult performer. He's been in the industry for a good minute, and his name is called Keptsecret. Nico, I'm actually fairly familiar with him. I say that because I've seen a few of his videos because he finds like the thickest bottoms and he just like unleashes the beast on them. Nico, that's the best way I can describe the way that he be digging these boys out. I'm not even gonna sit up here in front with you and be like, oh, he's so gentle, he's so peaceful, he be beating it up. But at the same time, I remember somebody on YouTube had asked me prior, will you ever make a video about Keptsecret and Yardie style because of their aggressiveness in their scenes? And I told them I couldn't make a video on that just because at this point, Keptsecret and Yardie Style have been performers for over 8 years, to my knowledge. I'm not that invested in them, but I know that they've been here for a lengthy period. And at that point, if you decide to do a collaboration with them, you know that they are aggressive scene partners. And I say that meaning going in how they like to get down, so I can't necessarily make a video on performers that willingly agree to that because I'm assuming that's the kind of super happy adult fun time that you enjoy if you are willingly partnering with these two performers in particular. But going forward, one of their scene collabs involving a trans man of color called Playboytransman. For short, I'll just say Playboy. He and Keptsecret did a scene a year ago. And afterwards, everything was fine, everything was good. And then a popular tweet came up basically saying, y'all are always attacking Fat Rabbit Killer because he has a large, super happy adult fun time appendage, but y'all are never actually talking about Keptsecret, who be beating people's bougie hoes into hamburger meat. And Playboy basically came forward and said, but if I speak, because he felt that if he told his story, he would be victim blamed and that it would cause a lot of backlash. And basically, he came forward saying Keptsecret intentionally intended to hurt me in this scene by thrusting his super happy adult fun time appendage into me without warming me up, and that you can have rough, super happy adult fun time, but in a way that it isn't painful, in that he basically only did it because he was homeless and he was hard on money and that he needed the money. He didn't actually want to make the film. He just wanted money to pay for his meal. And Keptsecret came back and replied because Playboy had basically blocked him. He had blocked Keptsecret so that he could basically tell his side of the story without Keptsecret being able to explain his side of the story. And when these situations happen, when it's just word of mouth, I always wait until more information comes out because I'm one of those people that we should believe people that come forward and make accusations, because it's rare that people have a reason to lie, but we also need to wait for evidence to truly convict somebody. So that's why in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, now I know this knowledge and now I'm just going to wait. And Keptsecret eventually came back and told his side of the story, where he basically showed the DMs. He showed the DMs where he was having a conversation with Playboy where he was basically like, okay, well, what are you into? And Playboy said, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And he said, no, thank you for giving me this opportunity, because actually the reason I wanted to make a category for trans men is because we always see, you know, gay men or trans women in the industry, but we never see trans men being shown in adult cinematography. And after I changed my mindset and actually linked up with a trans man, it changed my mind about the entire interaction. And I went back to one of my business associates and I told them I want to make a site specifically for this. And that's why, if you look into it, Keptsecret is one of the few Black-owned studios that actively puts trans men to the forefront. Like, if you go to his Twitter page, for example, it is going to be a healthy mixture of trans men and cisgendered men, each, you know, doing their respective roles, whichever they prefer. So he showed that he talked about it. He basically gave him a safe word, which was, if it hurts, just say, oh, you're too big, into the camera and I'll adjust. He basically came forward and said, okay, well, we took multiple breaks during filming. You know, we had multiple conversations. He was there for 2 to 3 days, and he actually had a rest day in between because we did a trio get together, a trio super happy adult fun time party. And then you were supposed to rest, and then even then you wanted to record on your rest day. So you were able and willing, and I have the trailers, I have the scenes. As you can see on film, I am slow. I am not even really inside of this person. I am being gentle because I can adjust based on what my collab needs and what my collab is comfortable with. I would never purposely try to hurt somebody. And now that he has come back with evidence and showed that we have the DMs, we have the texts, we have the, you know, we have the films, we have the video, I did not purposely try to hurt you. And somebody said it's good that you basically kept these text messages, because a lot of people on Twitter, they will hear something and they'll run with it rather than waiting for more information to come out. That's why I've seen it happen too many times where people will run with the situation and then the information will come out and nobody will try to clarify. They'll just be like, oh, well, I'm not going to apologize. And it's just, okay, well, this person is proving their innocence as best they can against somebody who is saying word of mouth. So in this situation, somebody basically came forward and said two things can be true at the same time. You could not have intentionally tried to hurt him. You could have also came forward with both evidence, the text messages where you described everything, where y'all talked about a safe word, where y'all, you know, basically said, what are you into? What are your limitations? What is acceptable? And you could have still also hurt him without you knowing. So why not just say, I'm sorry, that was not my intention to harm you, and keep it moving? And Keptsecret basically said, this person blocked me, and began to say that I purposely hurt them, rather than saying the interaction itself was uncomfortable. He said that I did it on purpose as some like vindictive and evil action. And if he wanted to discuss what happened a year later, because we filmed a year ago, he could have came to me and DM me, and we could have had a discussion and come to a understanding that that was not my intent, but instead he blocked me and tried to smear my name. So in this situation, I see both sides, seeing as how Keptsecret himself said, I don't normally employ homeless people because they're not there for a movie. They're there out of dire necessity and to pay for their meal and to try to survive another day. So at the end of the day, they might regret it later on. I'm here to make good content. And from the DMs that we saw between him and Playboy, Playboy's intention, he made it seem like he wanted to make a film, and he said, thank you for this opportunity. But in reality, he was starving and needed to make money to feed himself. So I understand both sides, where he could have possibly be harmed and just not spoken up about it. But I don't agree with blocking the person and then trying to smear their name rather than addressing them directly, especially when you all discussed what you're comfortable with. You saw his catalog, you knew the kind of performer he was. But at the same time, you can't really tell somebody how to process what happened to them. But based on the video that I saw, because the links are in the tweet, based on the DMs, based on the conversations, the back and forth, the care that they had in between the dialogue, I don't think Keptsecret personally tried to hurt this person, especially since it's all on camera. Do I think it's possible? Because Keptsecret is very large and an aggressive performer normally. Even in the video, you could see that he wasn't necessarily going all out if you go and look at that video. But he is large in general, so that could just be painful in general. I can't tell you how somebody's body reacts to something entering it. But in this situation, I feel like it was a misunderstanding in my personal interpretation of this, just because there's too much evidence that Keptsecret discussed everything prior and went through the book about how to have this interaction. And the fact that this person blocked them and then tried to come forward and tell this story, it is slightly shady. But at the same time, I understand wanting to avoid public backlash just for speaking your truth, because once again, I cannot tell you how somebody's body reacts to that size. You know what I mean? But definitely drop your opinions down below. After all the information that we have on both sides, after hearing both sides of the story, what do you think? Do you believe that Keptsecret, with his catalog, with how he discussed everything in the text messages, he did not intend to hurt this person, especially because the conversations that they were having was full of care? Or do you believe that he was intentionally being a aggressive performer? Because as you look through his catalog, you see that most of his interactions hold some form of quote-unquote domination and or aggression. But at the end of the day, that's the type of performer he is, and people know this going in when they decide to collaborate with him. But definitely drop your opinions down below, because this is an interesting situation, because out of all of the collabs that Keptsecret has had, all of them for the most part have been slightly aggressive. This one was a bit more tamed, but nobody has ever come out and said that they were purposely hurt. You know what I mean? I've never heard somebody come forward with a story about Keptsecret, because he usually goes through the books and lists what he's comfortable with and what you're comfortable with and how to tackle things. But yes, definitely drop your opinions down below. Boop. And a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's third eye tier subscribers, Le Bon Roy and Shevchenkofan18. That one was difficult. I will not lie to you. That one I struggled a little bit. Thank you for your continued support. And this week's live stream discussion will be over faux diversity. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely make sure to tune in.